Alexander Dugin. He's a prominent figure in Russian politics with close ties to Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin, Kremlin, and the Russian military. We're meeting him today on One-on-One, and we'll be talking about the relationship between Russia and Turkey, the Middle East, and the situation in Syria. We'll be also asking him questions about the Fethullah terrorist organization that planned a coup attempt against Turkey, and of course, President Vladimir Putin. Mr. Alexander Dugin, firstly, welcome to One-on-One, and thank you for being on TRT World. Obviously, there is a lot to talk about, but I would like to start with the Fethullah terrorist organization and the coup they plotted against Turkey. When did you find out, or did you even have the chance to find out beforehand that there was going to be a coup attempt in Turkey?
I began to analyze the Turkish politics from the early 2000s. I followed closely the development, dramatic turns of Turkish inner politics, and I considered that under geopolitical angle. So I have discovered early that Fethullah Gülen sect represents not Turkish traditional Islam or some Sufi tariqat as it, or some educational system as it pretended, but rather the network of American influence, not only because Fethullah Gülen was in the United States, but the style of this network was much more political and orientated to have the power, to seize the power in Turkey. They were group that served American interests, hegemonic, imperialistic, and they were not so much concerned by Turkish national interest, but rather by fulfillment of the Greater Middle East project. And when Erdogan has split with them from this very moment, it was already 3 years ago, or maybe a little more, they began to react. They began to plan something to overthrow Erdogan. That was Gezi, Taksim Place, public protests. That was the campaign against corruption led by Fethullah Gülen persecutors. And above all, that was a kind of downing of Russian plane. They have shot Russian plane just in the moment when the relations between President Putin and Mr. Erdogan were close at highest point. So they made already different campaign. And when Mr. Tayyip Recep Erdogan has pronounced his excuses to Moscow, for us it was evident that now that will be coup d'etat, or at least attempt of coup d'etat. First of all, we have come to the conclusion that Fethullah Gülen should make a kind of counter-attack just after excuses, because that was the last moment to them to seize, to have the power in Turkey. And that was as well confirmed by some intelligence data in Russia. And that was very important, because it was not only the destiny of the Turkey that was decided in this dramatic July 15 July, but as well the fate of Russian-Turkish relations, and maybe the destiny of the Middle East, because if we imagine that coup d'etat in Turkey in July 2016 would be successful for Fethullah Gülen, that will mean not only the change of the regime or the overthrow of Mr. Erdogan, that will signify civil war. That the same pattern as in Iraq or Libya or Syria will be repeated here. in this peaceful and prospering Turkey. Now it is prospering, it is peaceful only because the patriotic forces were around Mr. Erdogan. They have supported him, and that was the victory of all Turkish people, not only of Tayyip Recep Erdogan. This support shown by people, by different political groups and parties, including by some opposition, patriotic opposition shown to Erdogan in this critical moment, they were decisive for final issue of that attempted coup d'etat. And I think that Russian role that was considerable, because we were on the side of Turkish people. We were together. And personally myself, I have made all that I could in order to overcome the political crisis and to put our government, our countries, our people together and again. And I am happy that Turkish people has won in this very tense, very difficult situation. And I think that support of Russia, moral, political, diplomatical, intellectual, geopolitical, and above all, the support of Mr. Putin was considerable.
When you heard that the coup was taking place, actually, at any point did you feel or think that they would succeed? Or were you very sure that Turkish democracy would triumph?
No, I wasn't sure at all. I didn't have conviction that in that case Turkish people would win, because on the side of Fethullah Gulen were not only these members of this network, pro-American agents of influence and these sectarians, but the West. And West was behind the coup d'etat. Now it is absolutely clear. And information from main world agencies during this dramatic night were neutral, but in favor of protesters, of people of Fethullah Gulen. Finally, they described that as a kind of popular protest against the dictator or Erdogan, and so on. The only country or the only political leader that didn't hesitate then, that was Mr. Putin, who has expressed directly support for Mr. Erdogan. So the situation was critical. I don't think that was something easy. So that was the real attack. The Turkey stood on the edge of the civil war. So all the heritage of Kemal Atatürk was put in the place. So the seriousness of the situation we shouldn't underestimate. It was a dramatic night, and I was maybe by chance, maybe by destiny, maybe by other reason, I was here in Ankara during this coup d'etat, and that was very. I felt the taste of history. Going through exactly the place where I was, because Ankara's airport was encircled by the putschists. They were pro-Western, anti-Russian, and pro-EU, and against the Turkish sovereignty. I believe in Turkey. I believe in sovereign, great and strong and independent Turkey as one of the pole of multipolar world.
There are always some rumors, sometimes there are news, and it says that they will attempt a second coup in Turkey. Do you think that's possible, and do you think that they're going to have a second move, even if it's not a coup attempt?
That strictly depended, and already that doesn't depend anymore, on American elections. Because this time, two American candidates had completely opposite vision of international politics. In the case of the victory of Hillary Clinton, the possibility of coup d'etat was probable or maybe certain next second, not by Fethullah Gulen, but by other network of American agents that who are implemented in the Turkish society during Cold War. So there is so many levels of this presence in military forces in different fields. And if, for example, neoconservative agenda would win, they would be activated, and maybe not exactly coup d'etat, but something like that. Disturbance, terrorist attack planned in different places, activation of Kurdish separatism, Daesh network, and radical Islam supporters inside of Turkey. And if it will be synchronized in the context of hybrid war with some informational campaign, it could destabilize, as well with economic failure or specially created financial crisis that could lead to real repetition of something of mass protests and maybe political attempt of political coup d'etat. But I think that now we have a good news from United States that Trump has won, and that changes everything, including that change the future of Turkey, because now United States from now on it is great America, but not imperialist, not hegemonic, occupying by its inner problem, and we could regard this Trump's America as a partner. We Russians, we have nothing at all against America, except the attempts to impose to us their agenda or to control us. So Trump always openly recognized that he will treat the other from American interest point of view. That's only thing we demanded, we Russians. And I think it's the same for Turkish. If Turkey will be recognized as sovereign, national, strong state with its national interest, the danger of new coup d'etat is much lesser. So it will be next time only inner problem. If there will be inner conflict, opposition, the split of opinion, but what is most dangerous aspect of coup d'etat, because it is backed by third force, by superpower, hyperpower. So if this factor will be isolated, I think the danger is very small now, but that doesn't mean that Turkey shouldn't stop in reforms of political system, but it will be inner affair, inner case, domestic case of Turkey, and I think that nothing will be obstacle to develop relations with Russia. Russia could help Turkey in order to acquire more independence, more strength, more economic power, and I think in these conditions, under these conditions, United States shouldn't be regarded as enemy, because we could have both of us, Turkey and Russia, have nice relations with Washington because Trump, from the beginning, recognizes our right to sovereignty. He is realist. He belongs to realist tradition in international politics, and it is based on, the realist tradition is based on absolute recognition of sovereignty. So sovereign Turkey with sovereign United States and sovereign Russia and sovereign Iran, so other sovereign countries, we could create different forms of geopolitical alliances, maybe totally peaceful, maybe with some conflict, but every conflict from now on will be regional. I think that the victory of Trump signifies the peace for Middle East.
So you say, in other words, that now that Trump's president, then Turkey doesn't have to worry about veto anymore.
No, because pro-American aggressive sectarian network from now on is losing its support. I think I couldn't exclude that Fethullah Gulen will be given to Turkey in order to be judged. So there is no theoretical obstacle for that. That will be only juridical case in the United States, because before all these hegemonic mechanism of United States, its imperialistic system backed Fethullah Gulen. And now he is ordinary citizen that lives in the United States, and if American system will come to the conclusion that he should be given to Turkey, so nobody could avoid that. So I think that is the time, the moment, the window of opportunity to insist once more in order to give Fethullah Gulen to be judged in Turkey. And I think we need to use this moment, because Trump now, after his victory, he is as well under attack of the same forces, or globalists, because for them that means the failure, the total failure, the end of this hegemonic imperialistic strategy. And the circles of globalists, they were not only pro-American, they used America to accomplish their goals that had and have nothing to do with real American interests. So now the Trump is under attack. I think he should fear a kind of coup d'etat, as was in the moment of Kennedy, and including he could be killed. That is serious. We are dealing, the war is not between United States, Turkey, Russia, Syria, Iraq, Iran. So all that is in the hand of the invisible global, completely illegitimate elite, globalist elite with their agenda. They destroy countries, they provoke bloody baths for millions of the people. And they are absolutely irresponsible for that, because that is the elite that acts behind the scenes. And now they have lost their battle for most important asset we have in the world, for presidency of United States, and they will revenge. And I think that in this moment of freedom, moment of concentration of United States on our problem, we should finally fix Russian-Turkish alliance, strategical partnership, and nobody could stop us now, and we should use this window of opportunity in order to bring to the end, logical end, all the projects of our presidents and what is more, maybe as well important, no more important, but as well important, this sympathy between two people, because Russian people like very much Turks, and as we feel being here, the millions of Russian people being here, we feel the reciprocal, the sympathy of mutual sympathy of Turkish people.
Like you just said, you always believe that Turkey and Russia should grow closer. But when we look to the past up till now, we see and we can observe that the relationship is mostly built around economically. The cooperation is done economically, and the security side is weaker. Do you think that both countries will be able to build a relation around security as well?
Yes, I agree. I think that security this time will go first. And we have seen the fragility of economic relations. Being involved in the mutual economy during many years, in the critical moment of the downing of the Russian plane, all the economic relations were stopped, absolutely, and they served for nothing. They were blocked immediately. That shows that our relations couldn't be established only on economy. It is very nice aspect, very good aspect, and that is really necessary for development of Turkish economy, relations with Russia. That gives us as well the new possibility in the energy issues, in the economy, in the products, agricultural products. But it is not the only aspect and not the main aspect of our relations. Security first. First of all, we need to establish the system of common security to define or redefine better, to redefine our interests, the zones of our interests in Middle East and Caucasus, and we need to create a kind of special strategical partnership, because acting together we could easily accomplish the goals that only relying on our inner forces we hardly will be able to fulfill. So I think that in order to establish, to grant prosperous economic development of both countries, we need first concentrate on strategical issues.
As discussed earlier, you had mentioned that Russia and Turkey has its differences when it comes to policies in Syria. So Russia wants Assad, Turkey says no to Assad. Is it going to be possible for these two countries to overcome their differences and reach some kind of consensus when it comes to Syria?
Before, disagreements were huge. Now they are much lesser, and I think that nothing prohibits now to us to come to the next stage. For example, we don't insist on Assad. We want to resolve future of the Syria peacefully. So we are against the war and against the use of war against Assad. We are for peaceful election, and we are strongly for unity of Syria. But split of Syria will create a great danger for Turkey, much more than for us. So Turkey, logically, is as well in favor of unity of the Syria. The problem of Assad that we support, we are supporting Assad, but not as a person, but as a form, a key figure in legitimate political system.
Has UN's time ended? What do you think about the UN? There was a saying, there's a saying of the Turkish president where he says the world is larger than five. How does Russia view that?
In this point, my personal opinion is different from the opinion of official Moscow diplomacy. I think that the time of United Nations is over, and we need to create the new multipolar international political system. Not system, the relations between the countries should be reflected otherwise than now, because it is a kind of continuation of Cold War vision of bipolar world represented in the Council of Security, and that is a kind of image of the world that doesn't exist anymore. But I am absolutely against reformation of the United Nations as United States of America proposed to create unipolar system with America in the center and everybody around them. I think that we need new international system that would reflect the reality of today, and with different form of council, Security Council, but it is the process. We need to think about that. We need to try to discuss that. We should discuss it. But for time being, United Nations could serve a kind of transitional platform.
Mr. Dugin, thank you very much for
You're
being
welcome.
our
Thank
guest
you very
today.
much.